Everybody, 12 date fragrances for the daytime, because I did a video about date night scents, but if you're going out for brunch, lunch, a walk on the beach, an amusement park, anything like that, when the sun's out, these will carry, and I promise your date will love it on you. Okay, so I got a range from masculine, feminine, unisex, and from all price ranges, from cheap to expensive. So we're gonna start on the niche side, and we have Holidays by Mancera. More women gravitate to this, but this is a very unisex fragrance. So if you're a guy, please don't be put off by this scent. Give it a shot. This is a powerhouse fragrance. It smells like coconut. There's some bergamot, but it dries down a little bit sweet with some vanilla and some sandalwood, okay? It's a very nice, loud fragrance. If you're somebody that doesn't want to reapply and you want to be smelling amazing all day, literally over 12 hours, this is your fragrance. I would suggest, if you're having a date that starts early in the morning, let's say you're going hiking or grabbing coffee, and then you just keep talking to this person and you want to spend more and more time with them, and it lasts all the way till the nighttime, this scent will show out. It will not leave you. It will not leave you, especially when you spray it on your clothes. It will be there forever. So Holidays by Mancera. Next is one that is more masculine but still unisex. Like, this is something marketed to men and women, but more guys gravitate to it. It's Cedrat Boisé. Now, girls love this fragrance. When I wore this over the summertime, it pulled amazing reactions because it projected really, really nicely. However, it is something you can easily get nose blind to, so watch out for that. Be careful on the trigger with this fragrance, because you might think it disappeared after 4 hours, but no, it's still projecting, or it's still coming off your skin 8 hours later, So this is a fragrance that I had to ask somebody if they smelled me, and they're like, oh, yes, I definitely smell you. But yeah, this fragrance right here kind of smells like walking into Jamba Juice in the opening, and then it dries down to a woody kind of smell. So it's fruity, woody, but not like fruity, citrusy, where it's just like lemon and then the woods. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more round than that. But yeah, girls love this. Amazing for the high heat. I know I mentioned a hike earlier. If you're doing anything outdoorsy, this is such a nice fragrance. Third is for the ladies, or if you just like feminine fragrances in general, it's Ylang in Gold by Micallef. And this is banana custard in a bottle. Oh gosh, it's so nice. It smells like, if you want to smell like a luxurious tropical vacation, this is your fragrance right here. It has this sophistication. It's creamy, but yet a fragrance you can wear when it's warmer outside. I would suggest this, let's say if you're going on a date and it's outdoor seating and you're having like a glass of wine or a mimosa, anything like that, this is such a nice fragrance to smell in the air. It gives off it just gives off good vibes when you smell this. I'm like, man, I always love smelling this whenever. I don't reach for it, but when anybody else reaches into my collection and wears this, I love it. I love it a lot. Okay, fourth, another unisex fragrance this is probably the most unisex one out of the three that I mentioned, that falls right down the middle. It is from Maison Francis Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Silver. And this, it smells like a sexy, dominant CEO. Now, I know if you're a woman watching this, or if you're a man watching this thinking, oh, that means that it's masculine. No. This smells amazing on women, okay? This is a fragrance for someone that has that kind of confidence, but they're a little laid back. They don't like beat on their chest. They don't have to do a lot of talking to prove that they've made it. You know what I mean? They're just very content with what they have because they know that they work hard. It just smells like a very rich kind of fragrance. Now, I know I mentioned business CEO, but don't think that this means that this is like a business fragrance or it's work appropriate. If I smelt this on a date, I'd be like, damn, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? This just pierces through the air. It's fresh. It leaves a very nice scent trail when you're walking around. It has a nice projection as well. But this is just that fragrance that makes you whip your head when you smell it in the air, man. I haven't even tried the gold version yet. But silver is really, really, really nice. So give this one a shot. I kind of get a little bit of it's a cooling effect. You know what I mean? This is like a piercing, fresh fragrance that you can wear when it's hot outside, but it can still work in the cold because it has that piercing effect. But it's kind of icy a little bit. And I know you can't really smell ice, but it just gives off this cooling, icy kind of vibe when you're wearing it. You know, oh, it's just so good. So yeah, Gentle Fluidity Silver. Next is one that is very, very likable from Roja Parfums. This is, I believe it's marketed to men, but to be honest, all the parfum colognes and like with these particular bottles are fairly unisex. So this one right here is kind of like a fresh lemon scent that is kind of a bit, not alcoholic, but kind of cocktailish. Kind of smells like an alcoholic beverage with some lemon in it. And man, when I wore this in Vegas, when I wore it like here in Southern California, it always gave me a lot of compliments. I wore this on some lunches that I went out to. Never failed. Never ever failed. Everyone was like, damn, you smell so good. So this fragrance is fantastic. Now I know that it retails for around $290, so it is a little bit pricey, but don't worry, I have some other ones that will show out for you if this is a bit out of your range. But if you can get like a sample, a decant, anything like that, I'm gonna see if I can link all the fragrances I talked about in the description so you can follow along or just check it out and click around. But yeah, this is probably my favorite fresh and clean niche fragrance on this side right here. I think if I had to keep one fresh one, it would be this baby. I love Elysium by Roja Parfums. Now we're gonna move on to the designer side, and I'm gonna start with Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. Now, I know some girls are gonna disagree because this can fall very sweet on some women. Like they get more sweet than they do fresh, right? And if it's a date fragrance, you might not want something that's very sweet if you're gonna be in the sun, and it might get too sweet. So what I would suggest is there's a red bottle called Very Good Girl. Same heel, and it has, I think, a black, I don't know, maybe this part is black here, but everything else is red, gold, something like that. And it is a lychee fresh fragrance. So that one is still very seductive, but it has the freshness and the brightness to really, really work on hot days. And that one, delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. I've heard some people compare it to Delina by Parfums de Marly, and I believe it's because they both have a lychee note in it. So with me, lychee is just a note or just a fruit that you want to bite into and just kind of have it dripping down your chin. You know, it's a sexy kind of smell. But yeah, Very Good Girl is nice. I would say the longevity is maybe at least 6 hours, so it definitely doesn't last as long as the OG, but that one's great if you live in a higher, like, you know, the high heat. So we got Good Girl. Oh, I love this one. I love this one, man. It's Sea Intense by Armani, the black bottle, 2014 release. I have not tried the new one yet. Okay, so I have no idea how that one smells. But this right here leaves an impression on nearly anybody. You're going on a date with a guy, with a girl, whatever the case is, this is more of a feminine fragrance, and you're wearing this, I promise they will not forget that scent. It's gonna be burned into their brains. This is one of those fragrances that just has that it factor about it. That when they smell it, they're like, oh yeah, I remember. Like, it doesn't smell just like anything else that you're like, oh yeah, it's whatever. You're like, oh no, I know that scent. I went out with a girl that smelled like that. So I call this my Tomb Raider fragrance. Lara Croft in a bottle. She's a little bit rebellious, more of a bad bitch, you know what I'm saying? But she gets her shit done. So, oof. When I would wear this fragrance, I would easily get over 12 hours. This is probably the only feminine designer fragrance in like out of standard designers that I would wear. And I have worn this a few times, and I always got amazing reactions from men and from women alike. Next is going to be a very safe choice. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. I sprayed this in the cap a bit earlier. It's just It's minty. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's such a refreshing fragrance. This is one of those scents that, you know how I mentioned with Sea Intense that it has kind of that character to stand out. This is more on the other side where it's a safe fragrance, but it's one that you've probably smelt a similar DNA in other things before. You know what I mean? So it's, to me, it's an okay scent, but this is Mr. Versatile. This is more masculine leaning, but it's a fragrance that, like, day, night, any season, any occasion, work, whatever, you can wear this scent. So that's the reason why I don't say it's the best date night fragrance, but it is one, or day date fragrance, but it does it all. I believe I actually smelt this fragrance on a guy when I was in Disneyland recently. And like, he walked by me and I'm like, damn, bro, that smells good. That Chanel Allure Extreme, it does smell good. So girls will compliment you with this fragrance, especially like, I don't know, you put your arm around her, you do anything like that, and you catch a whiff of this on a sunny day, it's nice. It definitely performs better on skin, like all fragrances do, in my opinion. And I know you might be like, didn't you just say in the beginning of talking about this fragrance that it's just all right? I think compared to certain things it is, but in general, girls do like this scent when you give them a hug and you just have that very easy to like masculine, fresh cologne vibe. It's like, oh my God, yeah, he smells good or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because like I said before, most guys are still on Old Spice or just on Dove soap. Like, they don't have colognes. So like, this will separate you probably from a lot of the guys that she's been out with. So Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. But if you wanted to level that up to an even more likable and more sexy Chanel fragrance, I would suggest Bleu de Chanel. This is the EDT concentration. I have yet to try the EDP and the Parfum, but this is a sexy grapefruit scent. Kind of got in my eye a little bit, but damn. I'm telling you, if this is a bit too masculine for me to personally wear, and you know what? I think I'm going to have to find a fragrance to layer with this, because I love the smell of this scent. And a lot of girls are head over heels for this fragrance, okay? This, to me, is the best Chanel fragrance marketed to men in the standard designer line, okay? There's a reason why this is always sold out at Macy's, or it's the #1 seller, up there with Dior, Sauvage, and all that. But this one is a little bit more classy than Sauvage. It's more sophisticated. It's a timeless kind of scent. So let's say you're a teenager watching this and you wear Bleu de Chanel. Let's say you end up marrying that girl you're on a date with and you're in your 50s. This is still going to work on you. It's not going to be outdated by any means at all. So, oh, damn. I love Bleu de Chanel. Girls love Bleu de Chanel. Yeah, I would take this one over Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme, but easily performs over 8 hours, this scent, and it projects fairly nicely. I like the dry down of it. I like everything about this fragrance. Okay, next we have La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. And hear me out, because people say that this is date night, this is a night in, and I totally agree with that. However, even though this does dry down a little bit sweet, it still has a freshness that works in the high heat. Like, I have worn this when it was 75 degrees outside. I have worn it when it was 80 degrees outside, and it becomes a totally different fragrance where it did not become cloying. In fact, it was radiating a lot more. And I know a lot of people complain about longevity and projection. They're like, oh, this is a weak fragrance, but give this a shot when it's warmer outside, because you'll really see, like, it. I think the warmth like enhances the performance of this fragrance easily, like way better than it does when you're wearing it when it's cold or it's nighttime. So yeah, you would still kind of have to overspray this, but this is a sexy cardamom fragrance that makes girls' mouths water. A lot of plurals in that sentence right there. But yeah, this fragrance, man. Gosh, I know if you're a guy that has smelled this, you might be like, no, it's not all that. Listen, if you're not trying to date another guy, then let me rephrase that. If you're a guy that doesn't like this and you want to date guys, then I get it. You know what I mean? Because guys don't really understand why girls like this. But if you're a guy or a girl that wants to attract girls, yes, this is a big thumbs up. I think it's sexier than Bleu de Chanel. A lot of girls think it's sexier than Bleu de Chanel, but just not as versatile as Bleu de Chanel. So, La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Okay, and the last two are going to be, this is solid right here. This is Ultra Blue by Polo. And this screams that you own or you're in some rich country club, you know, you play polo, you probably went to a private school that had all the water sports like the sailing team and all that kind of stuff, a paddleboard team if there even is one. But yeah, this is a scent for somebody that is a little bit more old money. You know what I mean? You're going on a date and you're just, I don't see this much as a beach fragrance, but something as like you're going to like a high class restaurant, outdoor seating kind of venue. Absolutely. Or you're going wine tasting. Ooh, let me smell this one more time. Yeah, this is more of a masculine fragrance right here. Damn, if you wore this wine tasting, shit. Damn, bro. Yeah, this is a really, really, really nice fragrance. You can find it for $60. So it's totally solid. The performance, the projection actually, I did get compliments on this when I was passing by people. So around 7-8 hours is what I was getting with my skin on Ultra Blue by Polo. And lastly, we're going to end off with a unisex fragrance. And it's going to be Oud Wood by Tom Ford. Anybody can wear this. Ladies, I know if you have searched this scent before, you've probably seen more men talk about it. So it kind of put you off. You're like, oh, like, or girls that would talk about it are saying that it's masculine, blah, blah, blah. I would totally disagree. And that's not just coming from somebody that would wear masculine fragrances. Like my sister that loves feminine scents rocks this. And she loves it. She smells amazing. She gets compliments from like when she wore, like her boyfriend really liked it. Everyone around her really, really liked this scent. But this one is more for the unique person that wants to still smell amazing, but have the uniqueness quality and the sexiness quality. So this just kind of smells like a blend of fresh woods. It doesn't smell like oud. I know when you see oud, you might be like, oh man, that's intense. But no, this fragrance in general, people say has poor performance, but on me, like this holds on my skin for like at least 8 hours. So I get great performance with this off my skin, but typically it'll go less than 6 hours, you know, so you can overspray it if you want, but on those lunch dates, brunch dates, it's going to carry the whole entire time. So you don't really have to worry about this being a beast mode fragrance, but if you want to overspray it, then go for it. So that's my list. Let me make sure I actually did 12. So this is 1, Good Girl, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, gosh, 9, 10, 11. I only did 11? Holy shit. Hold on, no, 12. I did 12. Let me know what your go-to day fragrance is. And in the comments section, I'm going to leave everything linked in the description. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.